Welcome, Capricorn, to MsAmazing Tarot. Hope all of you are doing well, vibing high, being amazing as you are. Let's see what's going on in your energy. Universe, angels, ancestors, spirits, how y'all doing? Y'all cooling up there? What messages do you have for Capricorn? What's the gossip? What's the tea when it comes to Capricorn's energy? Universe, what you got? Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all? Facing yourself and others, reflective relationships, self-awareness. What you see is you. Wondering why the activity around you, it says, what's that saying? What's going on around you is a reflection of what's going on inside of you. It's like maybe you're facing that, you know what? Maybe how people treat me is how I treat others. Okay. You know what I'm saying? I got to give to get, you know. I got to give respect to get respect. What you see is you. Let's see. What else you got, universe? Toxic love. So there could have been some toxic behavior when it comes to partnerships. Maybe you're wondering why you're attracting the same type of people. Pain in disguise is passion, addictive patterns, harmful attachment, can't live without. And you got two-faced and red flags. Warning signals, ignore intuition, potential trouble, you knew better. So there could be some behavior, you know, some patterns here, some addictive patterns now that you're facing. Inner child. So this could be related to some things that, and you know what? When you see inner child, it's mirror, mirror. This person is looking in the mirror. Same here. I mean, you got toxic love in the middle. So maybe this stems from childhood. You know, what you saw with your mom and dad, what you saw with your uncle and auntie, your grandmother and your grandfather, or shall I say your auntie and your uncle. You know, it's like, maybe you were used to that toxic love. The arguing is meaning some, you know, there was a lot of arguing and tension. So you meant that you thought that was love. No, it's toxic. There was addictive patterns. And when you walk down this spiritual path, you begin that journey, you go back to your past. So you try to understand why you're in the position you're in today. Then you begin to move accordingly. Like, I don't want to attract the same thing. I don't want to deal with that. What was the lesson that I needed to learn? And when you identify that, you begin to change those patterns. You know, I wouldn't be here in this position. It's not about the other person. It's like, what did I do? What am I not seeing that keeps landing me in this place? And once you identify that and your part that you played in, is just like, okay, now I can face this. I need to heal my inner child. So therefore, I'm not displaying toxic love or addictive patterns or harmful attachments. Broken promises. So this could be related to, you know, over-promising, under-delivered, failed commitments, loss of trust. Words mean nothing. What Tony Montana say when he was having that conversation with, Scarface. What did he say? He said, in this world, a man only has his word and his balls. And I don't break mine for nobody. So it's like, your word is your bond. And if you can't keep your word, then, you know, 3 of Swords and 3 of Cups. So there's definitely some heartbreak, some emotional loss that needs to be cleared out. Healing inner child wounds. Learn how to reconnect with joy, you know, returning to that innocence, you know, breaking those addictive patterns. Mirror, mirror, what's going on here? 7 of Swords, what you give is what you get. Are you moving deceptive and being sneaky? Is someone else moving that way? What they say, attitude reflect leadership. What type of leader are you? Are you one that rules with an iron fist? You know, do what I say, not what I do? Are you, should we say Joe Jackson? Or are we that? So maybe you're starting to see, maybe my deceptive ways is the reason why I keep tripping over these damn swords. Why I keep getting hurt. in relationships. Could be related to a home, a partnership. 4 of Cups. And why, you know, now you're losing your luster. You know, why there's dissatisfaction, or why, you know, your offer is not being received, or you're not accepting their offer because it's something going on. This is how somebody's moving. 2 of Pentacles, and definitely it could give off the energy of juggling. Am I being juggled? You know, what's up with the ebbs and flows? What's her name? Emotional roller coaster. Again, like I was saying, we grew up seeing grandma and grandpa and mom and dad and auntie and uncle and all that, but then you were privy to conversations about what was going on behind closed doors. I'm a child that grew up with my grandmother. So, of course, when it came to my aunts and uncles, I was always, you know, I didn't say nothing, but I was always in earshot. It's a lot that I know. It's a lot that I've seen. And going back when I began my journey, seeing like, you know what? It was some toxic shit. This is a generational curse from mama to grandma to great grandma, even to great great grandma. I mean, I'm all the way now. I didn't went so far back as 1886 as far as my family, my timeline. I mean, my lineage, that line of, you know, what was going on. So it's like it's self-aware. It's like I'm aware now. Me moving in this way, or whoever you're dealing with moving in this way, when it comes to relationship, of course, there's not going to be happiness. There's not happiness. And if you're looking to someone else for your happiness, then yeah, you're definitely going to be, you're not going to be satisfied. And that could be the ebbs of what kept the emotional roller coaster rolling. You know, it's like, it's time to pull the plug. It's time to shut down this circus because it's time to heal our inner child. Toxic love. Toxic love. It was an episode of All in the Family when Mike and Gloria was going through it. They were arguing over something or going back and forth. They had a disagreement, and Edith was telling Gloria, she was like, sometimes you just have to talk it out. Sometimes things could be so small and so minor, but they could turn into big things. She said one time when I was growing up, she said my mom and dad had an argument over syrup. They didn't talk for 3 weeks. She said it was never the same after that. So maybe you could have witnessed things of that nature, so you learn how to navigate, or for me, it was people please. You know, it was just like trying to get love from a parent who's emotionally unavailable. The World, and not my grandmother, my mother. The World card. So closing out this cycle of toxic love and addictive behavior. Hermit, doing some soul searching, some self-reflecting. Trying to go within and seek answers from, you know, get answers from within. Talking to your spirit guides of how to close out a cycle. Something that has had you hung up for a while. The reason why I say hung up, 21, 2 and 1 is 3. Plus 9 is 12. That's giving the Hangman. Not seeing things from a different perspective. Stuck in one. Well, when you think of Pisces, the Hangman, you think of rose-colored glasses. This is how it's supposed to be. This is what I saw growing up, until you take those glasses off and say, well, whoa. It's almost like those videos you see of the babies when they first, when they get their glasses and they're, 6 months or a toddler, they get their corrective lenses on for the first time, or they get their little hearing aids, and they can finally hear their mother's voice, or they can actually see clearly. It's just like, damn. Damn, I stole a cookie out the cookie jar. I'm the one that, yeah, I did that. So, of course, if that's the behavior that I'm putting out, or the energy that I'm putting out, that's definitely what I'm going to get back. 3 of Cups. Social gathering, celebrating the love in every relationship and friendships. And what did I say? I said 2 and 1 is 3. And here's 3 here with the 3 of Cups. And then when you break that down, when I said 12, Pisces, the Hangman, you have 3 here. Changing your perspective and now celebrating the love in each and every relationship, honoring that, realizing, you know what, this is toxic love and toxic behavior, this is healthy love. Learning how to identify both now that we've begun to heal. Inner child. And that star came out right on time for the bookie and for us to move towards inner child. So definitely healing some inner child wounds, reconnecting with joy, playfulness restored, returning to innocence. Inner child. Look at that. It came out again. Facing yourself, realizing, you know, there's some things I need to work on, some addictive patterns, choosing to close out that cycle and begin to heal that inner child. Look at that, loving on yourself, Queen of Cups, bringing those emotions into a stable balance, you know, cutting through bullshit and getting down to the nitty gritty of why I act like this. Is it because I didn't receive love? Is it because I need to heal? You know, some things that happen. What is it? Because 17, it breaks down to 8. Because what goes around comes around. And I need to heal that. What do I want coming back around on that wheel when it's my turn? What I want coming back around? I need to heal this. Hermit. Definitely spending time with self, going within. You may be quiet, keeping to yourself, but you're definitely doing some soul searching and trying to gain some insight on what it is that you need to do and how you need to do it moving forward. Broken promises. So disappointed expectations, failed commitments. This could have been a reason why. It could have been some broken promises, made promises, you didn't keep your word, somebody didn't keep their word with you, and you lost trust. Broken promises. King of Wands. What did I say? Attitude reflect leadership. Leadership is right here. Attitude reflect leadership. Did you make promises you didn't keep? Did somebody make promises to you that you didn't keep? As a leader, aren't you supposed to keep your promises? How do you expect your subordinates to trust you or follow you if there's broken promises? So there could have been some loss in trust with how someone moved or navigated, or maybe their ego got in the way, which ended up in broken promises and disappointing expectations. 8 of Swords. Somebody's definitely mentally trapped at the, you know, they're in their head replaying events. It was a blow to somebody's ego. What limiting beliefs are preventing me from achieving my goals? Not seeing things for what they really are. How you move is what you get back. The addictive patterns. And some childhood wounds. 8 of Cups. It's time to walk away from that mental prison you've been keeping yourself in, those limiting beliefs, and or playing victim when the ball drops. It's time to walk away. It's time for personal growth. And when you think about the King of Wands, you know, what's the next level? As a king, what's the next level? Whether that's the pentacles, the swords, the cups, what's the next level? Being the emperor. And the emperor can only be an emperor unless he keeps his word. Unless he heals that inner child. High Priestess, following your intuition. Letting it be your guide. Not letting your ego be your guide, but your intuition be your guide. Because sometimes when you move in like that with this King of Wands, you end up in a mental prison, and it's time to walk away from that and allow your intuition, that inner wisdom that you've been seeking, be your inner guide. Because the Hermit came out a lot. So there's been some reflection, and you had to start with the man in the mirror. Did they say you can't help heal anybody else if you ain't healing yourself first? Can't help nobody else. Moon, intuition again. Yeah, there may be some things hidden along the way, but that's between the universe and your angels and ancestors. Right now, it's about those disappointed expectations and that loss of trust, that failed commitments. It's time to get out your head, walk away from that, and follow your intuition. So with that being said, Capricorn, look at that. Am I telling the truth? Am I telling the truth? With that being said, Capricorn, that is all I have for you when it comes to your energy in June. If you find that this resonates, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I will catch you guys on the next one.